all of you wonderful, beautiful people out there. Welcome to the second episode of Popular Demand Movies Podcast. So, we have our guy, Cord.
How you been? Oh, yeah. I need the catchphrase for this.
Are you going to do the same
I thought about that.
as a music one? Or you come up with a new catchphrase for movies? Fuck it. So then we got Chris over here.
I'm going to think of something.
Chris, how are you doing?
Good. I'm Rashad's biggest hater for the next however long we're going to be on this.
That's facts.
I'm all y'all biggest hater for this whole show today.
And Rashad, how are you doing, my guy?
I'm chilling, man. How are y'all?
I'm decent.
We are great.
So on today's episode of the podcast, we're going to review Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace and The Lobster. So the format is going to be we're going to review a movie that we actually are interested in reviewing, and then we're going to review a movie that we think is probably going to be bad, just so we can roast it. The first movie is going to be Tyler Perry's Fall from Grace. Rashad gave us a wonderful synopsis last week.
You didn't miss it all, Rashad. You were incredibly accurate.
Yeah,
hey, man. Hey, I'm here.
Honestly, without seeing the movie, that synopsis made absolutely no sense to me. But now seeing the movie, yeah.
It makes all the sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, does anybody have any opening thoughts? What did we think of Fall from Grace?
It doesn't make any sense to me, is what I'll say. When he explained it made no sense.
Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get a general synopsis of a 1 to 10 from everybody right now. I would say that. Okay. From Chris, there's a 5. From myself, there's a. If I was blind and not watching the movie, I would give it a 6. But because I'm watching the movie and I see all these little minute details of this old man pretending to eat eggs at the very back and pretending to drink water, and her spending a whole little section putting on shoes to go downstairs with no shoes on, this is definitely a 4.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay.
So, who would like to give us another synopsis, just in case somebody didn't watch last week's episode? A little bit quicker than last week. They better watch it. A little bit quicker than last week. All right, let's go.
Or give it to him.
Shit.
I got it.
Now, Cord, please try not to stop to give your thoughts.
Okay, I got it.
Everyone, take mental notes as Cord.
You better laugh.
What happens when a divorced woman
See this voice?
is given a second chance at love? Tyler Perry presents
every other movie he's made.
Facts. Grace Water is a proud, God-fearing Christian woman who goes to church on Sunday and works 5 days a week. But what happens when the man of her dreams turns her life upside down into her worst nightmare? That's all I got.
So there's this very, very nice elderly black woman named Grace. She was just divorced by her husband, who she found
Waters
secretary. So then she's all sad. They had the wedding in her house. Then her best friend, what's her best friend's name? Doesn't matter.
Some bitch.
I just watched it.
I'm so sorry.
Crystal? I don't know.
Something Mills. Is it Sheila Mills?
Sarah. It was Sarah.
Her friend Sarah's like, you need to get out there again. You need to go and meet you a man. So then Sarah's like, hey, there's this art gallery. So then she goes to the art gallery. And then who does she meet there? A nice young man who just so happens to be the artist. Of course, it's a Tyler Perry movie. So he's 6'4", black.
Facts.
Got this crazy ass wig on.
Crazy wig. Dark
that
skin.
Is the worst flat top ever.
Wears a scarf.
Man, what?
That man wore a scarf in every scene.
And a fedora at one scene, and I was really confused.
Bro, he had on a scarf, a flat top, and 5 rings.
Man,
why?
Prisoner. That's
with a African necklace.
Bro, that man is dressed up like a Sims character, and I don't know why.
He's dressed up like a middle school Sims character who wants to be woke so bad.
So bad.
It's like he had the mad wild hipster look, but nothing about him was hipster at all.
When they started talking about Africa, I was like, oh, he's gonna do it. When they started talking about Africa, I was like, oh no.
So all right,
make one of them
go
references.
to the motherland.
So let's go ahead and talk about this in increments. So also while this is happening, the story is actually in present time following a lawyer who really sucks at her job. She is like the lawyer. Lawyer. She's like, we're giving you this case because you take plea deals very well. So you're gonna
wait, Delon. You got to mention something very, very, very important.
The beginning.
Tyler Perry showed up 4 minutes into the movie.
And what was he?
At a Tyler Perry production, and then you saw Tyler Perry.
Boom. What's his first line? Girl, you better go take them, please. That's all you good for. Now get out of my office. Bring me some coffee. Ah! Every 5 minutes, he just popped up and screamed. Like he just popped up and screamed. Like it's like he wanted to be Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon, and it just didn't work at all.
Man, so in every Tyler Perry movie, he does a very good but very basic job of making the bad character seem so fucking detestable. But I hated Tyler Perry's character so much.
He was the worst.
He was just such an asshole.
I think that was his whole goal.
I know that was the goal, but why? Why, like, to that extent?
Yeah.
I'm
about millennials, and it made no sense.
The city can't afford this case.
Because I didn't even get enough of his arc to be like at the end. Because at the end, I don't want to. Well, of course, we're talking about. At the end, while he was walking out the courtroom, he was like,
nothing.
He's like, "Good job, kid," and it's like, I don't like you enough to just flip that switch right there.
No, you weren't supposed to flip the switch there. You were supposed to understand the big ass hole that what's her face was coming from in her workplace environment. Like, she was in a hole where no one thought that she did anything except for one thing.
I still don't think she does anything. So that's
she
She never came back.
You got like a 1 in a million opportunity. Like,
it ain't no other case like that happening in Whoville.
But Rashad, it still didn't make sense though, because his whole thing is you not good at your job, you take pleas, and in the end, always believe that you just need a little bit of fight. You didn't know this was gonna happen, Tyler.
He did that role. He did that whole I'm tough love on you for this reason, so that you can be a better person. No, we just think you're an asshole.
Right.
But it didn't make sense because there was a case nobody expected. Like, that was an impossible.
Huge facts.
And in the case with I don't know.
I feel you. I'm agreeing with y'all. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, that was his purpose was to do that. But
like, if he would have came through and was like, my father went missing, and he could have had something to add on to it. He could have been like, I lost my career once chasing a case like this. This is why I didn't want you to do it. Like, he didn't even do that. In the end, he was just like, I never believed in you, but I always believed in you. He just walked off.
Yeah, I definitely think.
Awful. You know who would let him do that?
Tyler Perry.
Somebody who knows how to write a story. Somebody who knows how to write anything. Like, maybe we should give him some kind of motivation. And I know, like you said, he doesn't need it. He's just awful to be awful. But in the scenes where if he's awful to be awful, in the scenes are like where he gave her like the case, like, he said she's not a good lawyer at all. And then he's like, here's this nationally publicized case that I need to be gone in a week, so I'm gonna put the worst person I know on it. Go. Like if there'd been some kind of like background to like why specifically he was awful, I would have cared and been like, I hope she gets it, to get this. But it was like, he's just bad just to be bad. So I don't care about any of this. I don't care if Grace Water goes to the chair. I don't care if she loses her job. I don't care if Tyler Perry's wig falls off in the next scene. I don't care about anything that's happening in the next 2 hours.
This movie made me lose an understanding of how lawyers make money.
Me too.
I'm gonna tell you what. Me too. I was thinking that after law school, everything was good, everything was popping, and everything.
Like, not even like her. The Office, whole thing's like, Office is broke.
Everybody else,
you have the largest court case like ever, apparently, in your small 100,000. Like, why would you? Wouldn't you want her to win? Wouldn't you want to bring some reputable?
I would have taken that case if I were him.
The city can't afford this case,
man.
Like, why you keep saying this? Like, why you keep saying this?
And I really didn't understand what he meant by the city couldn't afford this case. I didn't think the city
watching this movie.
There was stuff never
make me thank God I didn't go through and become a lawyer. Watching this movie made me not ready. Hey, I was like, I'm glad I didn't become a lawyer. I'm glad I didn't become a lawyer.
So Chris, I took that in my notes while I was watching the movie. Every fucking thing they said was like, for at least the first 45 minutes, was just like the most stereotypical jargon that you could ever. It was like, take the plea deal.
You don't have probable cause, probable evidence.
You don't have probable cause. So you think the blood splattered this way? We need to hire a forensics expert. We don't have money for it. Like, everything was so stereotypical.
I ain't understand that either. I thought that.
Hold on. Did y'all notice this? This would flip me out the most. Did y'all notice that when she sold the picture, the dude was his body was laid out on the floor. It was him, but then she also said they never found the body. Like, it was a flat top was in the picture and everything. It was him. But I was sitting back thinking, like, if the body wasn't there, like, is that a prop with a flat top on it? Or did y'all not think, I'm really sitting back, like, if it was just blood, I would have been like, oh, okay. It was an actual body there.
It's little dumb shit that that fucked up the production that so much that I was just like,
I just thought about something.
Nobody see this? Like,
no, wait. This is the crazy part about it, though. When the case was going on, the prosecutor literally said, didn't you go to the house and clean up the scene? So if she went to the house and cleaned up the scene, how do y'all have pictures of a body and the blood splatter if you say, it didn't make sense.
I want the court case is a whole other thing I want to get to in a second.
Oh, perfect. Because I can't wait to talk. Let me lead it down. I can't wait.
Jeez.
So tear that court case up.
So, all right. So she goes. All of that was before she meets Grace. So she goes to the jail, meets Grace. Grace is like some hard ass, and she's like, Catholic, huh? She's like, how'd you know? You have a rosary. I'm like, shut the fuck. Great. Anywho, so then she comes out of there. So then this is what killed me. Man, this is the one that killed me. The first time she meets Grace, and she goes to talk to her husband, and she's like, babe, I don't want to be a lawyer. I didn't realize that people were actually murderers, liars, and thieves.
I didn't know my job was this fucking hard.
You thought you were about to be a defense attorney? Everybody was going to be innocent? What do you mean?
Exactly.
Her exact quote was, wow, I had no clue these people were liars, murderers, and thieves. And that's wild.
I'm going to tell you what. That, along with everything else in this movie, my biggest, for no reason. And I just remembered exactly why I gave it a 4. Because there were so many instances in this entire movie where it was just people doing the opposite of what you would normally do.
Yes.
Like you would research what the fuck lawyers do and who the fuck lawyers
you would do all these things.
Hey,
he's a 26-year-old.
Just watch movies with lawyers.
In law school, somebody would tell you, hey, yo, motherfuckers is grimy out here. You gonna have to defend some grimy ass motherfuckers.
Like when I was living in Oxford, I went to the courthouse one time just to watch cases for no reason. I did that. I had no intention of ever being a lawyer. This woman, who is a lawyer,
had full intent.
You've never seen a court case? Like, that's crazy.
She could have at least went home and watched The Devil's Advocate. She could have did something.
She could have watched Grey's Anatomy. I know there's a Grey's Anatomy of lawyering somewhere.
She ain't never seen How to Get Away with Murder.
God, y'all want to know what really killed me though? You want to know what really killed me though? Yeah. It's the fact that she told her husband that. No. It's the fact she was talking to Grace. She was like, "You were the first person I've ever defended that I believe was truly innocent." And I'm like, wait, so that means you was just making everybody else plead guilty? You didn't fight not once just because you didn't believe them? You the lawyer. Like, your whole job is, I don't care if you guilty or not, I'm gonna hold it down. And she was like, you the first person I ever trusted. Like, what? Like,
and then the fact that she said that, but then before she's like, oh, people actually lie out here? Which one is it? Anyway, let's move on. We gotta move on.
I don't trust her.
Which one it is.
So then she talks to Grace and is like, let me go talk to her friend Susan. So then we go to Susan's house. Susan is, what's Susan? Like, what's her?
I could have sworn she was her.
think it was Sarah. Her real name.
Sarah, whatever.
Yeah, Sarah.
Betty.
No, I mean in real life. In real life.
Yeah, her.
Melissa Rashad.
Yeah, Alicia Rashad. So, we go to Sarah's house.
Yeah, Alicia Rashad.
She helps her with her trash in. She's like, "Oh, I need help, baby. Can you help me get my trash?" So we go in, we talk. She's like, "Oh, Grace is so nice." And then in the corner of the room, in the little cuts, we see small old woman, Tyson in there, peeking behind. Have y'all ever seen that really, really, really creepy Michael Jackson picture? Where it's like kind of like
where he just coming out from behind the
That was Cicely Tyson in that movie. Like, yo, why? But she's like, "Oh, hey," and she just dips. She dips like a scared child. I'm like, "Okay, baby."
Man.
Okay. So then, gosh, what happens after that? This movie. What happens after that?
After that,
she didn't ask no question.
Just like dips off. And then she goes back to talk to her husband. Well, then the lawyer girl goes back to talk to her husband, tell her about the case. And then he tell her about, they get to arguing. And then he tells her about the fact that somebody died, like right in front of him. And then she was an old lady and this, that, and the third. Did your notes pick up after that? Or should I keep going?
Keep going.
He told her a wild, traumatic story. She was like, "Okay, I'm going to sleep."
Yeah, I'm going to sleep. that was it.
No.
After that, we cut back to Grace's life. Grace,
we see like he proposed to her.
Yep. We see her propose to. We go through a whole dating montage from like the first '90s movie that ever pops in your head.
Hey man, dating Grace is holding out though. I ain't gonna hold.
Man, for what?
Come on.
I ain't gonna hold.
Come on.
Hey, I'll just saying.
But that nigga just say for what? Yeah, it's turned mad misogynistic real fast.
He got divorced and he was like, "Oh, okay, now I'm gonna go home." Oh, you just go home, and then she get in the car. It was the happiest I ever been in my life. Like, so you just did it. Then the next day, then the next day, then the next day.
No, listen. Hey, maybe I'm talking about she loves making cookies so bad she didn't even invite the man in for cookies. That's all I'm saying. Rashad.
Exactly.
What else I'm talking about? What else am I talking about?
Cookies.
Cookies. I'm keeping it. She had off a mad long. I don't blame him for scamming her.
And the minute he got the cookies.
Yeah, with that, I'm gonna tell you what. With that whole
she held it down for God though.
No, she held enough for trauma. Because, I mean, you got to understand, she was married to a nigga who not only promised her...
She took him to church.
Fuck about that.
Looking disgusted. It was like, the movie, they try to highlight one specific person, so everybody around them be doing something, and they'll just be sitting there stoic. Like, 70 people in his vicinity had the Holy Ghost, and he was just... Did he still have his glasses on inside the church? He was a movie.
Yeah, he had his glasses. He was sitting there like...
Yes. Everybody else had the Holy Ghost, and he was just
he just ended up doing this.
And he was just there.
With a scarf.
And then we start seeing the character shift. That was the first time that we see him tell Grace, "Don't be in my business." When Grace
let me talk about this scene. I hate this scene.
Go ahead.
That's the first. I hated the movie up until that point, but when that scene happened, I was like, Tyler Perry.
I was like, hey,
barred from all black businesses because of this.
Can I? No, because you're missing a part. I really, really want to highlight this part.
You go ahead.
Really do. So, middle of the night happens. They are married at this point. Everything been coping steady. Everything been cool. Everything been real nice. DeLon, you okay? Okay, I'm keep going because I feel like that's what DeLon was telling me to do. Everything coping steady, everything cool. All of a sudden, Grace wakes up in the middle of the night. She checks the other side of her bed. Hey, my husband, who's a great person, ain't here right now. Huh. But somebody talking downstairs. He's saying all types of sensual things downstairs.
Fireflies.
Okay, let me get out of the bed. Put on my slippers. My slipper done failed. Let me grab my slipper. Put on my slippers. Go downstairs. Grace walks downstairs with no fucking slippers to eerily because she hears her husband on the phone talking about
maybe her feet was hot.
She took him out on the stairs, my nigga. On what, the 3 stairs that she took before?
I do that. I do that sometimes.
You mad,
man. Sometimes you feet get hot, you think it's cold. I'm just saying.
Cord, you telling me that you put on slippers, and because I'm gonna start looking at you like a homicidal maniac.
Right.
You put on slippers, get halfway down the stairs, be like, fuck it, and then just keep going downstairs.
You might be the greatest wrestler turned actor.
Hey man, I'm gonna say that I might get to the end of the steps and kick them off.
Anyway, she didn't. She
put the carpet on.
Zero projectiles.
Anyway.
So he's on the phone telling some woman about the fact that, hey, I could take you to this place where there are fireflies. You flash back to the fact that during the whole dating montage, he had taken Grace somewhere where there were fireflies and all types of cool stuff. Cord just disconnected. No, he didn't.
Well, he proposed.
That's also where he proposed. It's a special place. You just telling some woman about all this sensual ass shit. All right. He is downstairs. We come to the realization that he's downstairs talking to a woman to try and woo her with his back turned to the stairs. He is sitting in a chair so Grace can sneak up behind him so that she can come and tap him on his shoulder. Who you on the phone with? So now when he picks up this phone, right? It's he look back like, what the fuck are you doing downstairs? Like, this bitch don't live here. Like, she don't fucking live here too. All right. Hey, baby, I'm gonna call you back. Says baby and everything. Says, hey, baby, I'm gonna call you back. Hangs up the phone. Patiently sits there with his back still turned to the camera, still turned to Grace, right? Hey, who was that on the phone? Says nothing. She asks again, who's that on the phone? What's going on? Are you okay? In full monotone voice. Grace, if there's one thing that I don't like.
2 things.
You said it was 2. If there's 2 things I don't like.
2.
I checked up on.
Okay.
When you finna say?
Yeah.
So I just need to be on the Oval.
And for somebody to be in my business. That is where the conversation ends. No.
She said I just missed you.
More questions.
She went.
No. Yes, she sure did.
I just missed you.
She said,
and says, I missed you. That's all. I'm going to bed. No conversation in the United States has ever gone exactly like that. There's
listen, I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. He looked like he was about to beat her ass. So
I'll be real. She did. She looked kind of terrified. He looked like he was about to beat her ass. But the thing
so this is also coming out the fact that he has been displaying the characteristics of a person who has no type of malice or like evil intent in him. Why would I think that somebody who just proposed to me and dated me for all these time would beat my ass when he ain't shown these signs? He ain't shown these signs ever.
And he got a flat top. He don't care about nothing, Rashad. Got a flat top. He don't care about nothing.
I feel that.
He looked just like that nigga from Recess. What's that nigga name?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was downstairs in the middle of the night with some pajama pants and 5 rings. You think the man that he stares in
necklace?
He didn't take nothing out.
Yeah, the necklace, the rings. He excused himself from his shirt, had on pajama pants, his necklace, the rings.
Just pajama pants. No slippers. Just the pajama pants.
For no reason.
Back to the stairs.
Bro, he looked like a 2K character. You think he care about his life?
All right. So anywho, that happens. And I think there's some little shit right there where the lawyer leaves, like, oh my gosh, I'm getting kind of better at my job. I actually want to get her case now. And then she goes back, and then we pick up on the story. So then what happens? She starts telling her about more dirt. That he was like, what was he doing?
Bitch.
So it was about her job. So she works at a bank. Grace works at a bank, and then apparently her boss calls in there. He's like, "Hey yo,
no. Before that, we have to go through the scene where she's in her office. Every employee that works at the bank is walking past the door, and they're all one at a time looking in at her. to be like, I can't believe you did this. It's like 10 people who walk by her office in a single file line, like they're in kindergarten.
If I worked, I would have did it.
Everybody walks past the door in, like I said, in a single file line, and as they're going by her office, she's on the phone with. I think she's on the phone with him, or he left her. No, he didn't leave her again. She's on the phone with somebody, and as they're walking by, all these dudes are stopping, looking in her office. It's 10 people, and the camera shows us everybody walk by and do that, as if to not.
Like, we get it. We get it.
Yeah, I was like, just show me like 2 people doing that, and I would have been like, oh, this is intense. But 9 people walk by and look at Grace.
Well, you know, she's also black, so.
I'm not gonna lie, for a second I thought it was just bad. I was like, damn, I hate to see her winning. She got the big office. All 10 of them got to share office. She got her own. They hate to see it.
Hey, they've been waiting on that day.
Man,
huge fact.
Her boss calls into the office like, hey, yo,
do a party. Hey, y'all, that black girl.
He's like, hey,
we got her. We got her.
Ladies and gentlemen.
He said, "This boss." Her boss said, "There's about 400,000 of them things missing. Where they at?" And she said, "She said,
excuse me. What are you talking about?"
He said, "Your accounts and your passwords and your this and that, all blah blah blah." She's like, "I have no clue."
He started talking to her like he was a Power Ranger. You thought we wouldn't catch you? And I was like,
"What?" And he got away with it too. So then he's like, "You are fired. You better return all that money, all $400,000, or you're going to prison." So then she goes back home. The first thing she does is grab Sarah. Is that her name, Sarah? I keep missing Sarah.
Yes.
And then confronts her husband about the cheating. So, after I get accused of stealing $400,000 and told I'm about to go to prison, which one am I?
Go ahead, Court.
Wait, don't forget. She didn't even care about the money at first. She was strictly talking about the cheating. She didn't bring up the money. So
she didn't bring it up at all.
Y'all are still missing the key element.
She about to go to federal prison. She was like, "Who were you talking to last night?"
Y'all still missing something.
Go ahead.
At the table with Sarah. Sarah is still. That's been like. I of course I knew that she was the one doing it because Rashad had told us. So when
she brought her back up. Yeah, she brought her for backup.
But where Sarah didn't believe her at first. Remember, she was like, "I think he's cheating." Sarah's like, "Well, how do you know he just was on the phone for somebody for this, that, or the other?" And then, like, Sarah was on his side. She was playing pretty neutral. And then he comes in. And the second she comes in and old dude, Amari Stoudemire asked her to leave, she was like, "I'm not going anywhere." And I was like, you didn't even believe her 2 seconds ago.
Man. You gotta take the homie side, though.
You gotta respect it.
You gotta take the homie side, though.
I know, but like how the God, though, she flipped the switch.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what.
Like, that's right. Her friend.
No woman ever would do that. No single woman ever would do. No, we ain't gonna get in that conversation. That is an example of that movie did the exact opposite of what normal people would do. Normal single women will not take his side whenever you come to him about
of course, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's inconsistency. And then he tries to get her back into that lane because he asks her to leave. And I was like, well, maybe it's going to reveal they have a deeper bond. Like, what if she's like her sister? Because for a second, I zoned out, forgot they were just friends. And she was like, "I'm her sister." You know, the typical whatever you want to say to her, you can say in front of me.
Yep.
And then she was just like, "So this you're going to do, confront me with your friend?" And the camera pans to Sarah, and she goes, "That's right, her friend." And I was like,
her friend.
Why is her in capital and why is her in all caps on my screen? Like, wow, like they put it in all caps like it's emphasis. I was like,
because they wanted to show that they wanted to show he did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, said our friend. Okay, I got you.
Wait, no, he said her. No, he said her.
You said your friend. He might have said our. Y'all might say your friend. Oh, okay, never mind.
He said your friend. Confront us in front of your friend. And, you know, she capitalized it to show him that, hey, at the end of the day, my loyalty is with my queen. And, you know,
son.
Well, fuck all that. So then, more story, Susan or whatever leaves, Sarah, whatever, leaves. And then he's like, "Yeah, I was taking a photo shoot for cancer kids. I bet you feel bad, huh?" It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." So then we move on.
Oh my God.
So then, I don't know how she finds out. Oh, video footage from the bank, and she finds out that he did it. So then immediately right there, boom, Tyler Perry movie trope. He just flipped the switch.
Facts.
Flip. He's like, no, I didn't. He's like, I've been stealing your money. It's mine.
You old woman.
He said, I don't know if you know the laws in this state, but I'm entitled to everything in this house. Bitch. And I was like, damn. So basically, he starts holding the hostage.
Turn the NBA young boy.
He said, come bring me an ashtray. He was talking bitch around a lot. Old woman, blah, blah, blah. I'm the best thing to happen to your miserable life. And then there was a scene where she came in the house after he said, hey, I own this house. I can't leave. I pulled a mortgage on the house.
Nah, you gotta tell them about. I mean, you gotta tell the people about all the grimy shit that he did after telling her that he was an evil fucking person.
Oh, so he had the woman in the house, and when she knocked on the door, he said, "Leave." And he's like, "This." What she like said, like,
you gotta let the line do it.
Go ahead.
He said, "All right." So what's her name? Grace. Grace walks in the house. Here's a little moaning that So she goes upstairs slow, because women always go in that situation slow and trepid. Opens the door. We just get full ass from this dude.
Yeah. I was so confused.
Full ass. He is just going in with this younger woman. And then he's like, bitch, what you doing? She's like, get out of my house. He said, this is my house. Don't you? No, he said, you better respect my privacy, and threw her out the room. I was like, no. Listen. And then she slammed on the door, and the door opened and closed. Like, we weren't supposed to see that, but the door opened.
Any real rational, maybe not rational.
That's what I'm saying.
Life woman is going up those stairs with at minimum one steak knife in her hand.
Something
at least steak knife.
Like, and then
she definitely put on with the chef's knife.
Listen, and the girl, she said, "Oh, you didn't tell me you said it to mama." And he was like, and they just got back to it.
No, that would not happen.
They got back to it.
His mama
would have been out.
Like,
think about it. That would have meant that he would have got up, physically moved, and pushed his mama out the house. And she was like, "Oh,
that's fine. Get back in." Like
she went right back to it. Everybody get into it under what they want.
Everybody pushing their mama out the room.
But then in that scene, after he threw his mom out, right? He has his back against the door, and I would have preferred a scene where they show chest up or something. He was had his back against the door, just cupping. I'm like, well, in this situation, you were having intercourse with that woman. She seen it. They could have had the chest up. It was weird. So then, so this is what happens.
You know what type of time Tyler on?
They're going down. You know what type of time Tyler on. So they're going down the stairs. He's bringing the new lady downstairs. He's like, "Oh man, am I gonna see you again? I'm gonna get caught by your mama again." He's like, it won't happen." So then,
wow, Grace is sitting right
there. So then
Grace held the door open for the girl.
I swear the scene where he's walking her from the stairs to the front door and kissing her lasts at least 40 seconds. At no point did Grace flash out, so he sits down again, back turned towards Grace with a cigarette.
Fatal mistake.
Back to
bitch, you thought I loved you, you old miserable woman. You made
all a line that makes zero sense.
Go ahead and say it.
Here's a funny thing, Grace. I do love you. I just don't love you as much as you love me. And I was like, I know. What are we talking about,
so
Tyler?
Hard.
What are we talking about?
That's why this was so hard, Grace.
Yeah.
I stole $400,000 from your account and you're going to prison. Man, I'm enjoying the time with you. I really didn't, but I kind of did.
But look, he did the whole.
He don't kind of she stand up, she walk in a circle.
He did the tried and true line.
People talk about them hits.
Wait, go ahead.
We're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get to that.
Tried and true line. When you steal money, when you need money, I was caught up with some bad people. You only use that when you're trying to maybe humanize a person or be like,
huge.
Exactly. He said, I was caught up with some bad people. but I'm even worse. Like I was like, why? No, that's what he wants.
Why'd you tell us this?
Let me write that shit down because we got to talk about that whenever the ending gets revealed. Because if you caught up with some bad people, why is it like he's 20? Right, but
so Corey, you can talk about what happens as he's giving his monologue, his villain monologue.
Man,
so as he's giving his annual dark-skinned evil supervillain Tyler Perry monologue with his back turned to the woman, in every Tyler Perry movie, you gotta get hit.
You're right.
Let me tell you this, bro. Out of every Tyler Perry production, that was the worst attack scene I have ever seen. Like she walks in a circle, she grabs the bag. He ain't paying attention. In the first hit, the camera instantly cuts. I'm like, wait. I would have respected it more if the scene just went to black. It's the fact that the first hit is extremely fake, and in every hit is like, but it's like just packets of blood flying everywhere.
And it's like,
man, I'll keep real with you. I forgot.
She's like overhead swinging everything behind him, so doing the.
But it's going to the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like she's getting like softer because naturally this old woman is getting tired. She's like getting softer, but the noise still do. And so
same noise, same amount of juice.
Same noise. Out. Man. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. She should have did like the first hit and then it cut the black and then you just hear the sound. I think that would have been
that would have also worked. Right. But Tyler Perry ain't got good people in this camp, so we can't see that.
Okay, but the thing was, I don't remember what play. I remember it was some play like when the dude was cheating on his wife and she was like, "It's okay," and then she like grabbed a knife and like that was so much better than what this was. Like if it would have been something like that, but it cut the black, it would have worked. But man, them hits look bad.
Yeah, they did.
That was
should have watched The Walking Dead.
Top 5.
You said should have watched The Walking Dead.
Should have watched The Walking Man. She could have called Negan.
Listen, she beat him in the head with a bat and just drug him through the house, through the entire house. Yeah. Blood trailing from the chair.
That would have been fire.
All the way to the basement. Touched every wall. Every wall. You ever seen like an elementary school where they do the painting?
The little paint shit?
Yeah,
yes.
That's exactly what it looked like. I was annoyed. I'm like, this is how you're going to murder somebody? So then, I say all that to say, so then we get to present time and we're trying to fight the case, right? So she's like, let's go ahead and go to court. So the entire premise of the court case, did she kill the man? We saw her kill him. This wasn't did she kill him under duress? Was defense? This was, did you kill him? Why were you're lying, woman who says there's only liars and murderers here?
That's what I thought about when she flipped the switch and wanted to defend her. I was like, I don't know. That's all I was like, again, maybe I misremember what Rashad said, because if she's gonna go in this defend her, how? Because Grace just explicitly told her, moment by moment, how I murdered this man and how I called people after me. And then she was like, I can get her off this. And I was like, I don't think you can.
So
then you can.
So then Tyler Perry is like, basically before the court case, Tyler Perry is like, hey, you convince her to go to trial. Cute. You lose, you're out of here. Like, okay, so there's a precedent. But here we are. She's been we got the montage of her like studying for it and looking up the.
It's a lawyer montage.
This is literally. I don't know if y'all can agree with this. In all movies and television shows I've seen, that was literally the worst lawyer case I've ever.
Yes, that's the. You want to take point on this one? Let me.
I mean, Bob Burger's had a better lawyer case in this movie.
Take it, Chris. Take it from here, Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
So there's 2 lawyer scenes, right? Yeah, because there's the one where she gets put in the cell. No, that happened after. Look, this is back to they're just saying words and they're just saying terms that are in like lawyer movies and shows to make it sound authentic, but they never make any sense. Like, nothing about this makes any sense.
No, you got to explain the scene, though.
I know I'm going to get to it. I just want to make sure that we understand that I'm going to explain. It's just like I'm explaining it poorly. I need them to understand. It's not me. It's Tyler Perry. So, the lawyer might have to help me. Because I think I remember so much of the bad.
The opening statements were ass. She's like, he's like, she's a murderer. We know she did it. The evidence says she did it.
That opening statement went hot.
Wait.
prosecutor went hard.
He went hard. He said,
that
we found the pictures, we found the bed, she did this shit. And she comes in, look.
Grace Waters is a filthy animal and she needs to be taken off the street. She's a cold-blooded murderer and I want her gone.
I was like, damn.
He was going insane.
She put his body in a swamp. Everybody was like, wait, where the swamp come from? Like, y'all in Virginia ain't no swamps.
So then we get back to Grace's lawyer. She's like, look, we're here to prove without, beyond a reasonable doubt that she, killed the man. And, she bakes cookies. She goes to church.
What is this voice? What is this voice?
She goes to church. So, this is it. So, boom. And I'm like, yo, that's like an elementary school. Anywho, so then, boom, boom, boom. The witnesses. She's like, hey, this is our big argument. Oh my God, the blood splattering. This is our big argument. She gets the forensics guy on the stand. She's like, hey, does blood splatter like that? He said, yes. She said,
that's exactly how blood splatter.
she said, no. Are you sure? He's like, yes.
This is my job. Correct.
She said, okay, well, could it have been old blood? And then
nah.
He's like, well, yeah, we didn't date it. She's like, oh, so you're saying that someone could have bled there a bunch of times over a long period of time, and that just made it that deep and splattered. He's like, yeah.
I needed Jim to be in there. I needed Jim from The Office to be in that movie just so he can look at the camera and be like.
So that every scene after that is her getting her ass by the prosecutor.
Oh my God.
He was toning up, man.
He's the worst lawyer I've ever seen.
But the way they keep bringing the judge into it, every time he would make a good point, she'd be like, Your Honor, and he'd be like,
that's another thing. Tyler Perry wrote these scenes every other word is objection, and everyone stands up and starts screaming objection. Every single statement. Oh man.
Woo, those aren't even things that you would be able to object because at no point was he out of pocket. He was presenting evidence and maybe he was strong worded about it, but he's the prosecutor and there's irrefutable evidence that she at the very least murdered this man.
Huge facts.
What's her name is trying to get her off and be like, oh, that blood could have been from any period in time. You know what I mean? What does that mean?
So then we get to this part. We get to the part where we call Sarah. We call Sarah to the stand.
That's why I wanted the movie to go off.
Between day 1 and 2, so this was a 2-day thing. Day 1, she told her lawyer friend, I'm going to call Sarah to the stand. Don't do it. That's dumb. She's like, I'm going to do it. This woman who we got early in the flashback, Grace had called right after she murdered, said, hey, I murdered him. So we're going to call Sarah.
Yeah, she did.
Why the fuck would you call the person who was directly told I murdered him to the stand to where she has to go to the stand and I'll answer every question honestly? Why? What sense does that make? The worst lawyer in the history of lawyerty. So then,
no.
So then he says, "Go ahead, Court.
It's the fact that she said we need a character witness. You done went on a whole rant saying she good in the community, she got a son, everybody in the city loves her, and you get the one person that's involved with the possible murder as the character witness? Come on, man. What's the hell?
Said, no, when they asked her about the phone call, so did she call you? And then she said, no, go ahead.
I didn't have time.
So then
I didn't have time to read.
So then
I want the phone call.
She asked her questions. Hey, is she a good person? Yeah. You know her a long time? Yeah. She could kill somebody. She wouldn't hurt a fly. That's all
I've seen people be mean to her, and she prayed for him.
Man. So then we got the prosecutor. The prosecutor comes up. So, did she murder him?
That's what she said. Your Honor. She was like, objection, and I was like, how are you gonna object?
Why would you say objection?
Very direct question. That's not out of line. That's the whole point. That's murder her.
So then,
murder her.
So then we get these phone calls though, and she said, "No, stop this! I didn't have access to these phone calls." So the judge calls him up there. The thing is,
our ass is up here right now.
That judge is business. So all right, so. those I would have understood if it was like some shady dealings. And I thought this was gonna be Tyler Perry like flipping the switch, like he was like a really bad dude. Like he had the stuff, but he hid it from her. No, she literally had access to those phone records.
Just didn't do it.
See them. And he's like, they were there. And Tyler's like, yeah, they were there. Sucked as a lawyer that bad. She made phone records.
I promise you, I thought he needed to be dirty.
Bro, I thought someone was about to go down. Like, oh damn, where they get the phone records from? That really happened.
Huge
That's
fact.
wild.
She admitted in the court that she had evidence available to her, but just did not read it. Who the fuck is this lawyer right now?
No, remember at first she was like, I came onto the case kind of late. I didn't get on this case until 3 weeks ago. And then
damn, does that matter?
I only had a week.
Like, that's important. Those are phone records.
God.
Like, what was the point of you taking the case if you knew you didn't have time to fully research it? And also, hey man, Sarah said her. I'm gonna say this. That's how you know the movie don't make sense, because if I'm trying to set somebody to go to jail, why would I implicate myself? Sarah was, how long are you on the phone? About 5 to 10 minutes. Well, it actually says you were on the phone for 20 seconds. She could have easily said it was a pretty quick phone call. She said, asked me, was I going to church tomorrow or something like that?
No, because here's the thing. They had a whole montage before that to train Sarah and tell her exactly what to say.
Yes.
She went to court and said the exact opposite of what she was saying.
But we're still missing. He asked her, did she call you on the phone? Sarah says, no. And then she looks at Grace, and like just looking at Grace, like they like had the music swell. This must be an emotional moment. She said, I mean, yes. And I was like 5 minutes. The quickest character turns in any movie. Like, and I know the first one made sense about taking up for your friend, but just like how quick she turned from, I don't think he did it. We're just overreacting to, I think he's cheating me. Just like,
man, hey. So then he's like, all right, so what happened on the phone? Nothing happened, blah, blah, we was baking cookies. Hey, what happened on the phone? She said she killed him.
She started giving it up, and he asked the second time. Tone up his voice. Like, he just asked her the question again.
He didn't even do this. Did he?
He
didn't even lean in. Like, you leaning on the desk.
Really?
Golly.
They had to press 6'9". You know what I mean? They had to press 6'9" a little bit.
Exactly.
You know what? We're not giving her credit because he threatened her with jail time because she was obstructing justice. That was the only thing that made her fold like that. But I presume that during that pre-session, like we just talked about, somebody told her that they gonna threaten you. But as long as you don't fold, you're fine.
Yeah,
but no, she heard jail time and was like, oh, yeah, she did it.
Man, she did it in the living room with a bag at 2 o'clock, man. So then
she went in detail with it too, man.
So then next scene, boom, everybody goes home. Girl's like, damn, I'm a shitty lawyer. And her husband's like, no, this is what you were born to do. And I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's okay that she believes that. That's okay.
Tyler Perry's like, hey, you dumbass, why didn't you ask her more questions? Why you let your rule number 1, you don't let your witness lead a saying she murdered somebody? Well, I mean, so then we get to the next
what? She's so folded like
that millennial comment. That whole conversation made 0 sense.
He said, that's what you millennials do, I guess.
He's like, I guess it's but what did he say about it? He was just like, I don't know if he said something about the old days, but he was just talking about like how you're not supposed to let that happen.
I don't know.
And you should listen like another line of questioning. He said,
He was like, well, most lawyers, they'll leave me and go to a firm and make money. You're not even competent enough to do that. Yes, it's a millennial thing. He was loyal.
He was in her.
And that man said, you ain't even good enough to leave me and make money. Millennial. Wait. I feel like we skipped over the funniest scene throughout the entire movie. The part that killed me was after she got turned into a pack. And she went back to the house and her husband, he's sitting at the table. Well, you had a tough day, but there's nothing that makes her day better than ice cream. And then she goes, no, you're not my father. I don't want it.
No.
I was 10-year-old, bro.
I was so confused when she not only after Tyler Perry had just dug into her about this whole millennial speech, her husband came up and tried to console her, tried to give her a hug and shit like that. She looked at that nigga up and down. You just gonna let him talk to me like that? Yeah, my nigga, you were wrong. Like,
the truth.
Wrong.
He told me, how you gonna say all wrong? He's like, well,
What
you know,
you want me to do?
You're wrong.
like,
Take accountability.
like you a lawyer. Why I gotta step in for the lawyer?
It's your job to debate and argue.
I
Like,
sue
literally.
people. You argue people.
Oh, my God.
You just lost an argument. What you want me to do? Shoot
Man.
that nigga?
So what you trying to tell me is that I'm on your wife and you're not gonna defend me? He telling you the truth. You need to do better.
Right.
You just don't support me. I am supporting you. That's why I'm in this case watching you suck at it.
So then we get to the next scene. The next scene is them in court the next day. We're about to hear it. Is she guilty or not? So then he's like, jury. And then she's like, hey, I'm not done. I want to call Sarah back to the stand. And the judge looks at her like, hey.
Don't work that way.
You rested your case. You can't do that.
That's not
like, what?
That's not
what is your problem?
She's like, no, I want Sarah. Judge's like, no, I want Sarah. You're going to be held in contempt. I want Sarah. Clink. She's in jail. Now, that when I was watching that scene, I was like, this is supposed to be heroic, emotional. But secretly, I'm
just makes her look dumb.
I was like, damn, she going out sad.
It was
like,
really dumb.
Pathetic. This is pathetic. She's like, I want my witness, or I like shut up.
And she threw a whole temper tantrum, like in a grown woman, and like what? What are you doing?
On the highest profile court case like ever for that city. This. Man,
and the judge is like, I've been letting you cook, but you can't bring your witness back if you rested your case
like
yesterday. You didn't rest like 2 minutes ago. He was like, I legally cannot. And she was like, I won't understand. You can't bring. I was like, what was he gonna even say? Oh, I lied. She's not a murderer.
I think she's gonna try to get her to bring. I don't know, because there's something.
I don't know what she was gonna do either.
Somebody bring her.
He didn't know what she was gonna do. That's the problem.
I don't know.
I mean, she was gonna get her up there and be like,
Hey,
so what did you want?
This one thing about the movie that really confused me. She talked about her son so much, and her son did nothing. Like, she did a whole rant, like, my son married that woman. I don't like her. She took him away from me. I'm thinking, like, okay, is that gonna be a plot line? Like, nope. It was nothing. Like, he just cried. That's all he did.
He was just at court with a Burberry shirt on.
Facts.
Man.
Yeah, that blueberry shirt on. I thought I wouldn't notice. I saw it. He did a top row with no top. I'm glad his mom was, you know.
So then we get to the
scene. He put his Sunday best on for court.
So then we get to the scene. She gets sentenced to prison. So then, as she was going out of the courtroom, she goes and chats with Susan real quick. Sarah. So then she looks at her. She looks at Sarah. She's like, I'm going to take care of your son. She looks at Sarah like, is that the African necklace that the dude is wearing? And then we're like, flashback. She gets to the prison cell. She's like, oh my gosh, this happened. When he took a picture of me, behind me, there was a picture that she had seen. And then here there was, what were all the things?
The picture behind her was her bank accounts and her password and her username just all on one page.
Like on every time she was working, he would just come through with a photo shoot.
And then
what you doing? I'm working with investors. Let's do a photo shoot.
And then she was like, "Oh my god!"
Handling private data.
And there's that one time where me and Sarah accused him of cheating, and then she walked out, and Sarah gave him a knuckle touch. And I thought at the time that was really odd that they gave a knuckle touch after we just accused him of cheating. But now that I think about it, I was like, "Yo, if you would have,
why are they touching knuckles?
Why would you, man?" So then she realizes it. And then her husband, who's a cop, the lawyer's husband, who's a cop, in the middle of arresting a dude, had a dude over the car handcuffed. And
don't move.
Dude was like, hey,
don't move.
Check your laptop. And he's like, don't move. And he goes to the car. He's like, oh, damn, Sarah's picture with a bunch of different aliases. And he drives off, leaves the nigga handcuffs there. Hey, goddamn, what was he doing?
Yeah.
Handcuff him, but just not take him. Just left that nigga there. Man. So then we bust inside.
That nigga took off, by the way. That
100%.
So then at that time, the lawyer went to Sarah's house to ask her more questions. saw Cicely Tyson, went down to the basement. Boom.
Cicely Tyson said, "This is not my house." She's like, huh?
The terrible husband dude.
Gotta do the address.
The
289 Sycamore Street,
going
2989
Sycamore Street. That's where I stay, baby. I'm trying to go home. I could save everybody, but why would I sink my ship? I gotta float.
But then that being said, the husband like snatches her and ties the lawyer up. So then Sarah comes back to the house. Cicely Tyson's like, "Hey, they downstairs. They downstairs right now."
I ain't mean to let her in.
She talking now.
Like I thought she just got
Did she
here.
even leave?
Man,
Did she even leave?
She didn't.
I don't know.
So then the husband.
She ain't asked no questions. She just straight up snitched.
So then the husband cop busts in. He's like, "Hey, where's my wife?" Calls the phone. Here's the phone. He gets into a fist fight with Sarah. I ain't gonna lie. I like how she hit him on the head with a pen. And he was like,
then she threw the groceries at him.
Yes, she do. I mean, a bag of flour,
brown paper bag.
Listen,
the groceries still in this bag, brown paper bag, and she just.
I'm glad we're all in agreement that nigga lost that fist fight. He really did.
Hey, I'm be real with you. He got beat up twice.
That nigga got his
Him and his
Molly
wife need to change their professions. I promise you, they do. Ain't neither one of them good at what they do.
Man, so
that nigga got his ass whooped.
I think I have someone.
They need some new jobs.
Nigga, a police officer and weigh like 140. Oh my lord!
Oh,
I'm telling you, that nigga ain't arresting nobody.
No.
So then we go downstairs. The cop, he's looking for her. He finds her. Oh, when he handcuffs Sarah and put her on the table, Sarah just dipped. So then we go downstairs.
Like she instantly just got up and left.
Bro, so
he's leaving me here?
We get downstairs. He sees his wife. Boom. The husband dude comes out beating his ass. Sarah, the lawyer picks up the gun and shoots him. Okay.
What was she tied to?
She was tied to a chair.
They're like chained. Chained up.
Like what was he? Bro, because like you didn't see her break the chair or nothing. She was just like, "Oh, I'm free."
Well, no, she like ran at them with the chair, just dove into them, and the chair broke. Very brittle chair, apparently. So then we go down to all the old women in the basement. That was the weirdest thing. Yeah. So boom, we find out all that happened. It was a scheme. This had been happening for years. Like 20 people, like $1 million, which is crazy because 400,000 apparently came from Sarah. Or came from Susan or Grace. So boom, that's the end.
Grace.
Okay, so Rashad, thank you for why the fuck do we watch?
Hang on. We should give our ratings. I'm gonna read some stuff on Letterboxd. I just found out some news about this movie that explains why it could be the worst thing I've ever seen. They made this movie in 5 days. I didn't know that.
It was a weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend. They made it in a week. That was one of the reasons why they didn't have time to reshoot these scenes that were so bad, and like they didn't have time to shoot the minute.
He owns his studio. I don't get it. He was just bragging about y'all wanted to see it at the table. I built the table, and Twitter was going insane.
Built the table,
but
that's why.
Facts.
Because Netflix gave him a bag, and he spent maybe this much of that bag and kept the rest. And that's one of the reasons why they didn't go back and shoot those small little scenes, like the little small shit that we notice right now of the nigga in the background eating oatmeal.
You should have.
The dude who didn't, the bad wigs, the dude who didn't eat his eggs, all the hair scenes, the slipper scenes, all this stuff. That was just little shit. They just let that shit ride.
I hate this movie so much.
Huge facts.
I just want to chime back in and make that known. That's all I can think about. Sitting here thinking about it, it's just.
So now, like again, like I said, one of the biggest reasons why that movie is a 4, in my opinion, is just because it was so much shit in that movie that no one would actually do in real life. Let's go ahead and talk about the fact that if Grace actually did KO / kill that nigga, beat that nigga senseless with a bat. How is he in a condition to fight at the very end of the movie?
They just wrapped his head with the bandage and acted like that sealed in.
He's better.
Brain damage. She beat his skull in.
She beat the brakes off him.
Now listen. While I agree with you, I will say this just to contradict my next statement. It was a very long time.
Was Sarah a nurse?
It was a very long time later that fight.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
she was in jail for a minute.
But we get to the bandage. That bandage is like fresh bloody. So in my head, he's just bleeding out of his head every time.
And ain't nobody think about that. And you know,
he's just still in the basement
somewhere to get some stitches.
Like he could probably not live in the basement. He could probably live in a room upstairs or something like that. He's in the basement for 8 months. Like, yo, very aware because he said, "Hey, I see you met my mama" or something.
Still in fighting condition.
Yeah, like,
still in fighting condition. Still whooping niggas' asses.
Man, but you know.
You know what really didn't make sense to me though? It's the fact that they stole $400,000. They was getting millions from them old people, but they just never thought this is enough. Let's leave.
Yeah.
Like why keep
live
doing
in our same place we've been living at for forever?
Like people think I've been dead for almost a whole year. Why am I not in another country? Like living off that $450,000. Like what?
And how long has Sarah and Grace been friends? Because at some point, hey, because she could have been plotting on Grace the entire time. She was just mad.
Yeah.
Apparently, they had been friends for like some years at that point.
It's never happened.
So obviously, the thing was like she was explaining the divorce, like she was there with him. You know, like she was like, you know, when I got divorced, oh, you got divorced? What? You know, it was kind of like that. So did she just move into the neighborhood and just?
So the way I rationalize it is the fact that during this whole time that she's plotting on Sarah, she's also vividly making her son do these actions with other women at this time when she's plotting on Sarah.
And they was like, let's get
Yeah. So with all these other women, the thing that differed between all the other old women and Sarah was the fact that she was a financial accountant. So she had access to a lot of different money. So let's think of it in the way that we do our payday jobs, right? They got these other women who we really just like cashing in off their retirement checks. We chain them up in the basement. But then, we got this big bank. We got this big bank.
But she was also married the entire time she knew her. So he was like, oh, well, one of these days.
Yeah, one of these days something's going to happen. Or,
I'm never going to tell you I have a son, which is just a friend-to-friend thing, because eventually you're going to get
never did it.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to so that,
we can hear you, Rashad. But eventually I'm going to
stick my son on you so that, that happens. I don't know.
So, I need your 1 through 5. What would you give the movie Fall from Grace? We can do decimals if you want. I am going to give it even the 2.
Corey,
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Nice. You a
4
out of 5.
Let's get a 1 to 5.
No.
Yeah, that's why
out of 5. Out of 5.
Damn.
My fault.
Yeah, that's why I gave it a 2.
I'm going to give it. All right, so we got 2 2s. I'm going to give it a 1.75 because not only was it just an awful movie in terms of like being a movie, everyone in there literally did the dumbest things. That was the worst lawyer case. No one had any redeeming qualities except the cop husband. He's the only one in the movie I like, and her sassy best friend.
I can't even like that nigga because he caught his ass whooped a couple of times.
Well, you know why I like him? I like him because his wife was wrong. He said, "Hey, you was wrong.
You wrong." Man, first Tyler Perry movie that ever had.
Ever. So, only redeeming character.
Well, Black History Legend.
Shoot, not even that. That nigga's a terrible cop. That nigga let go 2 criminals in one day.
So we're gonna give it we're gonna take off.
3 because he let old girl kill herself.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a 1.7, not a 1.75 because of that.
Okay,
that's 2.
Jesus,
y'all are mad now.
Wait,
y'all are the kindest
be up
people
for a
that have
sequel?
seen this movie. No, I hope not. I was Googling, I saw Fall from Grace 2, and I was like, put Tyler Perry in handcuffs to even think about a sequel to this movie.
Hey man, he can give Felicia Rashad her own little spinoff.
No, he can't.
That's what I think is gonna happen. And they just gonna like hunt her down or some shit like that. But the only redeeming qualities from that movie is the fact that the concept was there. Okay, we dealing with a old woman who thinks she has killed her husband, who is actually scamming her, and we dealing with a lawyer who's trying to prove the case. That's there. Fine. But all the extra loose shit that happened with all these terrible characters, this terrible production, the ending that was just a clusterfuck of ideas. I feel like the ending could have been 3 whole different movies.
Her getting away, everything.
It was entertaining.
If she would have been arrested, it would have had some satisfaction to it. But for her to be at the end, like, oh, I want to introduce you to, wasn't she like a nursing home or something?
What movie was that?
I thought she was gonna look in the camera at the end like she was Michael Jackson in Thriller. I'm not gonna lie. She walked the door, I was like, she's gonna turn around.
She used to be an investor.
Was it Hush?
Like, you probably see that. What information are you gonna get?
It wasn't Hush. What was that movie? Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe.
Somehow
I feel exactly the same way that this movie did.
Like, why would you end it like this?
Like what? Like this old senile man.
We got like 3 different endings, though, right?
No, you got one. So the girl gets away. The old man that they end up beating the shit out of, the ad nigga still lives, and he's like, you know, still active and things of that nature. But yeah, like what? What are y'all doing? What's happening? But yeah, that's my issue.
He had nothing to do with it.
I'm going to give Tyler Perry's A Fall from Grace 2020 1 star, and that's
there we go.
At least they were like Rashad said last week, and we said here, like the general concept, there's something there.
It's kind of fire.
Every movie has at least something there where it's like it looks good or it's acted good, or the script is okay, or the overall plot is, you know, fine. It's just poorly executed.
He did not execute.
The initial idea of running all these scams is good. That is the only thing good about this movie. It's edited like the worst movie I've ever seen. There's not one good. Cicely Tyson does the best acting in this movie. The only thing that sticks out of my head is her address. That's it. I don't remember any other lines in this movie.
Street, baby.
She is the only person doing a good job in this movie. That's because she's giving something so not basic, because we all know Cicely Tyson's a great actress, but she's giving something so just get
so minimal.
Yeah, that she can't possibly mess it up.
No,
everything about that movie is awful. And I remember, wasn't Tyler Perry like hyping it up that they filmed this in 5 days? Wasn't he running with the camera up like, we did this in 5 days? And now that I've seen him, like, you did do this in 5 days, Tyler Perry.
You ML for you.
You didn't lie. You did this in 5 days. This is the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm confident in saying, and I've seen a lot of bad movies. There's nothing redeemable about this.
I would give Tyler Perry credit on this. I do think that he should make some more scammer movies. I think we need it. It ain't enough scammer movies.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you what. I feel like that could be a genre in itself.
It's a genre.
Like I mean, yeah. So naturally, this movie is a suspense movie, but I feel like if he wanted to, he could make a movie of. Well, he can make his own genre of crazy ass plot twists of movies. Because right now, Fall from Grace and Acrimony are both in that genre. Even though Fall from Grace is a lot worse, Acrimony. Acrimony?
I ain't know that was a movie. My fault.
Yeah, that's a movie. But even though A Fall from Grace is a terrible movie, it still fits into that whole clusterfuck twist.
It could be a universe
ending. Yeah. It could be, but
universe.
I
just think he needs some more writers.
Right, like I think if he had writers, if he gave people who understand how to write this general idea, there could have been something like some of the lines where he's trying to over-relate to people, like the millennial, like some of the lines that are trying to be too specific, trying to relate to people way too much. Like that doesn't work. Like you don't have to
millennial in the corporate office.
Have y'all seen that thing of it was a black lady and the Asian dude arguing at that Tyler Perry show, and there's something to her about liking fried chicken, and she's like, I bet you like sushi. He tries to do stuff like that. That's like real. Like that
was mad crazy.
When stuff like that happens in the real world, we want these people fired. So you put this in a movie trying to relate. It's awful because nobody likes this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like people just want to enjoy a movie. We ain't trying to hear like a Twitter discussion inside of it.
Yeah, I feel like he gets on Twitter and highlights.
That's why we don't like Lena Waithe. Sorry, that's it.
That's it. It's okay.
Grace officially has a popular demand score of a 1.7 out of 5.
Woo!
Okay,
that's tough.
All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to this mad long episode of the Popular Man Podcast.
Facts.
We appreciate y'all. If y'all have any movie suggestions, get them to us as soon as possible. That's it. All right, peace.
Peace.
Hey.